Okay, we'll reconvene from closed meeting. Good evening, everyone. It is 7 o'clock p.m. The Board of Trustees of Laporte Independent School District is now convened. I wish to extend a warm welcome to everyone present. Every student's success is our number one priority. As Laporte ISD Board of Trustees, we're here to set goals, adopt policy, approve budgets, contracts, personnel appointments, and communicate the district's vision and success to the community. It is not the role of the board to make day-to-day operational decisions. The management and day-to-day operations of the district are the responsibility of the superintendent. This is a public meeting of the Board of Trustees, not a meeting of the public. School board meetings are open to all who wish to attend and hear the matters discussed. Audience participation is limited to the patron presentation portion of the meeting. Board members may not respond to the public comment section. These proceedings may be recorded, and I respectfully ask that you please refrain from talking while others are speaking. Thank you for taking time this evening to join us and for your interest in Laporte Independent School District. At this time, we will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Will you join me at the pledge to the United States flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. Today, I know the agenda says invocation be given by Jeff Martin. Jeff Martin is not with us today, and so the invocation will be given by Miss Melissa Crutcher, Board Trustee.
Please bow your heads. Lord, we come before you tonight to ask for your guidance and wisdom on the decisions we make for the education and enrichment of the lives of the children in our community. Lord, we ask that you watch over and protect those in our world who need you most at this time, and let them feel your presence. We pray for the family and friends of Susan Roberts, former teacher and longtime supporter of Laporte ISD. Thank you for lending her to us for so long. Lord, continue to watch over and keep a hedge of protection over the children, staff, administration, and families of Laporte ISD. It's in your precious name. Amen.
Amen. You may be seated. Now for performance by Heritage Elementary students.
Good evening, everyone. As Mr. Yonda said, a performance by Heritage Elementary singers, and I'll introduce you now to the boss of all of it, the creator herself, Jamie Lupo.
So we do have a short little presentation to make. Charlie here has a special thing to make Dr. Jackson an official member of the Select Choir. So if you would take that right there to Dr. Jackson, Charlie. Awesome. So the logo on the kids' shirt is for Music in Our Schools Month, and this is the national theme as music, the sound of our hearts, for music education throughout our great state of Texas, here in Laporte, and the United States. So thank you for supporting music education for kids, and you're going to hear our wonderful Select Choir. I'm going to let Miss Bricklin do our introduction. Thank you.
Hi, we are Heritage Elementary Select Choir, and today we will be performing the song An Adventure, because life is surely one. Please enjoy.
And Ms. Leupold, correct me if I'm wrong, but your singers are scheduled for May the 5th? 6th. If baseball and the union can get it together and bring the season in, they'll be singing the national anthem at Minute Maid. Oh, wow. Thank you all.
I want everybody to flood Facebook and our social media networks with all of these wonderful pictures of our wonderful kids.
Crop us out.
Crop themselves out, right?
And our principals are here, Mrs. Wallace, Mrs. Barker, thank you.
Thank you, Terrence, for making sure they were here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have several people we would like to honor tonight, and first on that list are two of our top students in the district. And with that, I will introduce Mr. Carlin Grammer, principal of Laporte High School.
So it's always a pleasure to introduce our top two students of the graduating class each year. I think it's kind of special this year for me because you got to think back, these two kids, their sophomore year, went on spring break, never came back, had a very unusual last year, and this year hasn't been exactly normal either. So they, through all of that, they continue to do what was asked of them. They continue to excel academically, and so we're very proud of these two young people. So I want to introduce our Valedictorian Salutatorian first. our salutatorian, Sarah Adnan. Come on, right. Sarah plans to attend the University of Houston, right? Major in business, and then go to Texas A&M after that. Huh? Engineering, I'm sorry. And then, there's a difference. Then go to Texas A&M after that, correctly? For a master's degree. Congratulations, Sarah. And then this year's top-ranking graduate, Anthony Zambrano. Anthony, now, tell me if I get all this right. Anthony's planning to go to Texas A&M, where he will major in electrical engineering, where he eventually wants to work for NASA. I know I've skipped some stuff in there, but he wants to end up at NASA and work as a civil servant there. So congratulations, Anthony. While I've got these two here, and we've got this young man we want to introduce for one more thing, if that's okay. I'll just do this at the same time. So Anthony also was just named a National Merit Scholar finalist. So congratulations to him. That is a rare thing. Not a lot of kids get that, and he opens him up to all kinds of scholarship opportunities. But it just shows how hard he's worked and the things that he's done to accomplish that. We're really proud of him. And that's 2 years in a row we've had one, so hopefully we'll continue that trend. So congratulations, you two.
Congratulations, and thank you, Mr. Grammer. Next up, the 21-22 Laporte High School Lady Dogs basketball team had a historical season this year by winning more than 30 games. They won the district co-championship. They are by-district champions. And they advanced to the UIL area finals. Congratulations, ladies. And your 21-22 Lady Dogs are Peyton Babineau, Michaela Bellat, Keely Cummings, Addison Parker, who could not be here this evening, Dejanelle Reed, who is also unable to make it, Bailey Upshaw, Kira Arrington, Tammy Wynn, Kaylee Miracle, Elizabeth Felder, Angelina Goins, Sarah Green, who is not here this evening, Chloe Paul, Bailey Jackson, Victoria Hinojosa, the team manager, Chloe Stone, And your student trainers, neither of whom are here, but let's recognize them anyway, Ayla Ruffin and Emma Johnson. The team is coached by Alicia Thompson. Assistant coaches are Miranda Flowers, Bryant Upshaw, Jacob Freeman, and Aaron Wells. Parents, thank you for your support. This could not have been possible without you. Way to go, Lady Bulldogs. Thanks, Coach. Ladies and gentlemen, we're now moving to our You Make a Difference Awards. And if you've been here over the past several months, you know that the You Make a Difference Award is given to Laporte ISD employees who make a difference every day on their campuses or in their departments. This month, we're honoring our instructional coaches who make a difference across the district every day. And Julie Abram is here to help me pass out certificates. Your instructional coaches are English Language Arts coaches Meredith Halberdier, Andrea Broussard, Dawn Gussie, who I understand is not here this evening, and Marissa Kime. Your math coaches are Lynn Moore, Becky Job, Faith Miller, and Kelly Mules. Laporte ISD instructional science coaches, Anna Fontenot, and Amanda Lewis. Social studies coach, Carrie Brunn. And finally, our bilingual facilitator, Annabelle Huffman. Thank you again, instructional coaches, for making such a difference. And that concludes our recognitions for this evening. Thank you.
culture doing?
Yeah? No, I like it. Makes me happy.
You're not gonna scare me again?
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Now the rest of our crowd's leaving. Pretty soon.
And then there was none, right?
Yeah.
In a minute, we'll just have the team of five here.
Someone tell Katie to give me a cup of coffee.
What, just black?
Huh?
Just black?
Can I get it?
Mr. President. Yes, sir.
Okay, we go to item 6, public comments. The board will now hear those who wish to make comments and who have completed and returned the public comment participation request. This section will be conducted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act and board policy. Complaints and concerns for which other resolution channels are provided shall be directed through those channels. Ms. Thompson, do we have anyone sign up to speak?
We did not.
Okay, thank you. And we'll go to item 7, administrative reports. Dr. Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. President. So members of the board, and certainly I just want to share a couple of things that are going on in our school district and just kind of give a couple of reports, and then we'll have several of our administrators and officers of our team to come out and give us a report as well. District-wide attendance is low at this time, and we are having lots and lots of conversations about our district-wide attendance, and enrollment has declined this year due to COVID-19 and protocols and students that are out due to illness and various other reasons. Our principals and our campus leadership, along with district leadership, have and are working feverishly to come up with ways to improve our overall attendance and certainly beef up our enrollment as well. Of course, attendance is directly related to our strategic plan of closing learning gaps. Both pre-COVID learning gaps and as well as the issues that our students are experiencing as we speak. However, enrollment is yet another issue that we must continue to discuss as a district, and I'm sure, board, that we are not, Laporte ISD is not the only district that's experiencing these trends of declining enrollment and issues with our attendance. However, in my report to you today, I wanted to share just some data that I thought was interesting. I had our CFO to run some data numbers for me. In 2008, 2009, during the school year, during the last day of October, during that snapshot, 2008, 2009. Now, that's been a very long time ago. But I just want to share some of this for the board to kind of get an understanding of kind of what's happened in this area of Harris County in the last few years. 2008, 2009, enrollment was in Laporte ISD was 7,914 students. 2015-16, on snapshot date, enrollment was 7,753 students. 2019-20, right before the COVID pandemic, enrollment was at 7,211. Today, enrollment is at 6,938. So I don't say this to be the Grim Reaper, but I just want to keep these things before the board and before our administrative staff, because we're going to have to make some decisions down the road based on declining enrollment. Now, we all believe some of it has to do with the pandemic that we've experienced in the last 2.5 years. However, we do believe that we may be coming out of the pandemic, and so we certainly hope to see over the summer and into the fall an increase in these numbers. And we are, as I said, are working feverishly through my office, through the Office of Communications and Community Relations, through the Office of Student Services and Family Engagement, through all of our attendance ways, and our principals are offering attendance incentives. At Lomax Junior High, they've had several major parties because they reached their goals of that, and several other schools over the course of the year. Our elementary schools, everybody is doing their absolute best to do this, but we're going to have to continue to push that, because at the end of the day, school districts are funded through students. Students are the ones that drive the revenue for us. We receive revenue based on the number of students that we have. And so I'm just trying to keep this before the board and keep this before our administrative staff so that we can continue to come up with ways and be as innovative as we possibly can to improve our attendance, overall attendance, but also increase our declining enrollment and stop the declining enrollment piece. And so that certainly is a bigger issue for all of us to deal with, and there's a myriad of reasons why people move from place to place. Open enrollment in almost now practically most school districts, that certainly has played a role in that. And we've had several storms in this area in the last 8 or 9 years that have impacted entire communities. So we don't believe people are just running from here. We just believe that there have been some circumstances that have impacted that. But there is new building going on in our school district, and there are new apartments, new homes being built daily, new luxury apartments, entire new communities being built, and we see those homes being sold. We do believe that we will begin to see and feel this impact at some point. We just wish that it would hurry up. And so I want to share that with the board, because I think it's important as the superintendent for me to just keep this before us, because all of our funding has everything to do with how many students we have in our school district. And our principals and our teachers and everybody's doing everything they possibly can, but we need to continue to research and figure out what are some of the ways that we can do that. Certainly one of them is our branding and all of the wonderful things that you see happening with our students and our staff and all of the people that our athletic program, all of those things are happening, our academics, all of those things help us to improve our branding. But we certainly want to just keep this before the board. And that will conclude my comments for tonight. And I'll take any questions if the board has any questions for me related to enrollment and attendance. I will say lastly, we are believing, both Rhonda Cumbie and I both believe, and we don't know this to be accurate or this to be something that's going to happen. We are keeping our fingers crossed that perhaps we will get one more hold harmless provision from the TEA before the end of the year. Because if we are able to get that hold harmless provision, that would help us to kind of stay at the revenue streams that we've had in the past. And that's what the hold harmless provision is all about. And so school districts and superintendents have been very vocal about it and asking and pleading with the powers that be in Austin to help us with that. If that were to happen, it certainly would be an olive branch for us for this school year. But nevertheless, we're going to still have to have some conversations about what do we do moving forward about these things. And so I just wanted to share that tonight. Any questions for me? I'll be happy to entertain.
Board, do you have any questions? Okay. Thank you, Dr. Jackson. We'll go to item B, Holdsworth Center Leadership Definition Update.
Okay. That'll be Jewel and Miss Angie, Miss Whitfield, and Miss Viator.
Well, thank you so much, Board, for allowing us to present to you today. We're excited for our work that we've had the opportunity to begin in Laporte ISD. And we'd like to start off with a question. What does it take to be a leader in Laporte ISD? How do you know that you're ready to take on leadership in Laporte ISD? Well, it's through these questions that we formed this collaboration with the Holdsworth Center, and we're so excited to be able to answer those. Holdsworth Center is about growing leaders. It's about looking at leaders at all levels, from our students to our custodial staff, to our paraprofessionals, to our teachers and our leadership staff on the campus level, and as well as at the district level. So Holdsworth has provided an opportunity for us to look at Laporte ISD and figure out what it takes to be a leader. And we've had the opportunity to work with several staff members in doing so. Our journey takes time, however. So it's not a process that was overnight. We could have gone in the room and decided, hey, we've got this great leadership definition and we'd like to kick it off and share it with everyone. But instead, we'd like to hear from all of our stakeholders within our school district as we create a leadership definition that defines who they are, who our students are, and who we are as a collective group. The value of a leadership definition, is one that ensures an understanding across the entire organization, and it includes all staff members, our students, and to the extent our greater community. So we'd like to have that kind of permeate throughout Laporte ISD. You know, when you go through the line at Chick-fil-A, we all think of, what do we hear whenever we make a purchase at Chick-fil-A? My pleasure. It's my pleasure. And so as we think about those things and as we move forward, that's what we'd like to create here with our Holsworth partnership in Laporte ISD. The definition is broad. However, it's exhibited differently amongst our students, how it looks to the custodian, how it will look to the teacher. All of these definitions are broad, but they bring on different characteristics for your different role in Laporte ISD. And so we want to help answer the question of, again, what does it take to be a leader in Laporte ISD? Ms. Viator is going to share a little bit with you guys about how we get there.
Yes. So we're very excited, as you can tell. We have been working on developing a leadership definition. So we wonder, what have we been doing in our meetings, in our task force, getting together? Besides enjoying each other's company and talking about leadership, what we're doing is we're really working to create this task force that's comprised of, as Ms. Whitfield said, various staff members from the campus, throughout the district, from our support services, and we have district administrators, campus administrators, counselors, teachers, all represented. And they faithfully come, and we're so excited to see them when we do that work. Yes, nutrition staff as well, and our transportation. Together, what we do is we've been generating a list of characteristics of leaders. So everybody was able to write down furiously as many characteristics as they could think of what makes a good leader. And so we did that. That was our first thing. Then we put the stickies up on the wall, and then we started to categorize them. So, or do we see common themes? Are we seeing some of the same words? And of course, as you know, we did. We saw lots of common themes and characteristics that came up. So when we did this, not only our own ideas of what a leader is, but our core values in the district. We asked them to reflect on core values, what we've seen and noticed in good leadership. So very collaborative efforts, and so it's really a shared understanding among all of us on the committee. So our teams have worked together to do that, and so we do have 4 overarching categories, and we wanted to share those with you tonight. The categories that the task force has come up with are a leader who, number 1, really works to develop others and themselves. One who builds relationships. That was very prevalent throughout all of what we talked about and we continue to talk about. We do say leadership is someone who is results driven. You know, we want results. We want to make sure people are growing and making progress. And finally is an innovator, really looking to be visionary. And so those are things that we, in different ways, it came up in different ways, the way that was worded, but those are the things we came up with. And it was amazing. We put it on a chart, and every group, we color-coded them, and every group had very similar characteristics after we were planning and doing some different things. So with that said, what we're doing is, from there, we have identified some competencies. So things that we want leaders to be able to do. So these are broad topics. Now we're getting down to something more specific. So those are supported in the broad categories. These are skill sets that are aligned with those categories, and we want leaders to be able to exhibit here in Laporte ISD. We're in our final changes of creating behavioral descriptors for these competencies, and these descriptors are also, like we said, observable behaviors that we would like our current leadership as well as any aspiring leaders, so they can look and say, what does it take to be a leader, as Ms. Whitfield said, in Laporte ISD, and they can look at these. So we're continuing to work together. Also, another piece of this is a graphic representation so we want someone to be able to look right away and see what leadership is in a graphic representation in addition to the words. In closing, we will have additional meetings until April, and we'll finalize our task force work. And of course, we say that it is a living document, and we might still be continuing to make some changes just based on what we see and what we learn. But we look forward to continuing to share this with you all and the community in April.
And you know, we to continue on with that as we move forward, this leadership graphic representation that we're working on, we wanted to permeate and to move through all of our schools, our students, hopefully building their future leadership, and then giving them some key points to grab onto as they move forward in their life. We just had the opportunity to recognize 2 outstanding students in our school district who I'm quite sure everything that Mr. Viator shared tonight about our leadership, they all have. Those 2 children have. Our basketball team, those kids that sang tonight in front of us, they all have these qualities. we, again, can't thank the board enough for your continued support of us going to Holsworth. We had opportunity to learn a lot of different strategies, different techniques to build leadership, to empower others, and so we just can't wait to continue to bring that back to the school district. This partnership will help us with our student outcomes and then lead to greater student success in our district.
We really appreciate it, and we're happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Board, do you have any questions?
I would say, what has been the most impactful thing, just a knee-jerk reaction, an impactful thing that has happened since you've been to Holsworth? What
Well,
impacted you personally,
Well,
I guess?
what comes to mind is it's amazing. There are 14 districts in a room,
Right.
and of course sometimes we're more social distance than others, just depending on. But we have learned so much about commonalities, whether they're in College Station and Eanes, all places in Texas, South Texas. It's amazing some of the common things that we're working on. And the successes we're experiencing, but also the struggles and challenges that we have. So no matter how far apart we are, it's amazing. You can just go up to someone and say, "How did you do about that? Are you?" So yes, it does. It's almost like there's no distance in between us, even though, and we kind of pick up where we leave off every time we get back, and we're able to visit and talk about that. I guess that's an impactful thing.
Okay.
Because in our normal daily, we don't have that time sometimes to pick up the phone and say, but we
Right.
have that opportunity
Right.
to do that.
Yeah.
I would say also, you've heard us talk about the Aspiring Leadership Academy that we have.
Yes.
I believe for me, the most impactful thing is hearing this information at Holsworth and then going back and working with this great group of individuals who are looking to be leaders in our district, and then thinking about all of the work that we're doing here and how it's applying to those who wish to become leaders, and whether they like to be instructional coaches, technology directors. They're not all aspiring to be assistant principals and principals, but we can take back the knowledge that we learned from Holsworth and then give it that application within our district in that Aspiring Leaders Academy, along with Ms. Abram, who also supports us in that as well. And so to me, that's been the greatest impact of the work that I'm receiving, and then how I can take that turnaround and make it happen in our school district.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that.
You were gonna say something else?
I'll add, Ms. Thompson, and to the board, when you go to Holsworth and we're networking and we're learning alongside these districts that clearly we think are doing wonderful things, they in turn believe we're doing great things. And so they come to our table and say, how did y'all do that? Why did y'all do that? What made that happen, right? And so I think it's refreshing, and it's certainly, it makes us feel, validated in the work that we're doing here. Because we think some of those districts are really great districts, but we also know we do great things and great work here. And so the good thing is the commonalities about that. And now we've got 13 other friends across the state that we can pick up the phone and say, what are y'all doing in North Dallas? What are y'all doing in West Texas? What are y'all doing in the Valley? And somebody will take our call because they all know us. And we've all said that we'll eventually visit each other's districts at some point. You know what I mean? It's the networking opportunity to learn from other school districts, and they learn from us.
Yeah. Well, I say we're blessed to be a part of that.
We are definitely blessed by that.
We feel like it's just permeating, like you said, our whole leadership, the things we're growing and learning and able to contribute to the group.
Yeah.
It's a great opportunity.
I would encourage the board and anybody listening to just, when you get time, just Google the Holsworth Center and read about what it is that Charles Butts has done in honor of his mother, but the fact that he's committed millions upon millions of dollars to educate educators and teachers and principals and superintendents. And that's what people with money do. He wants to give back to the education community. And I would encourage you to go online and just look at that beautiful facility. And there's always somebody there. So we're not there right now, but there are teachers there that are being taught. And sometimes there are principals only there. And then sometimes there are superintendents only. And then sometimes there are an entire district team there. So he ought to be applauded for the work that he's doing and the investment in education that he has done. And we are direct beneficiaries of that work, no doubt.
Yes, very much so.
Awesome. Thank y'all
Well,
for
thank
sharing.
you. Yes, thank you.
The opportunity.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to item C, Renewal District of Innovation Plan.
exciting, but I think you're gonna enjoy it too. So, 5 years ago, Laporte ISD brought to the board our very first District of Innovation Plan. And they are good for 5 years, and after that, you either renew or you don't renew, and we are excited to renew our District of Innovation Plan. So just to review what it's all about, in the 84th legislative session, House Bill 1842 was passed in order to allow districts to seek a District of Innovation status to be exempt from a variety of state requirements. So as I mentioned, in February of 2017, the board adopted a resolution to become a District of Innovation, a DOI, and that resolution is good until we decide we don't want to be a District of Innovation. So in this renewal process, the board does not have to redo a new resolution. It stays intact. In April of 2017, the board approved our first 5-year plan, and all of the exemptions that the board approved support our board goals. So what are the renewal requirements? Well, first, we have to post our proposed plan on the website for 30 days. It is posted, and there is a pop-up for any kind of comments that anyone might have with regard to our proposed exemptions. It has to be on the website for 30 days. After tonight, after reviewing what the renewal plan is all about, I'll notify the commissioner of our intent to renew our DOI plan. After that, we will hold a DEIC meeting because the DEIC has to approve the District of Innovation plan by a majority vote. And then come April 5th, when it's time for the next regular board meeting, we will be bringing before you our proposed plans in hopes that you will adopt it by 2/3 vote. After that, we notify the commissioner that we have an approved plan with a list of our exemptions. We post it to the website, and then we let TEA know the direct link to the District of Innovation plan. If you go to TEA and you index A to Z, do District of Innovation, there are hyperlinks for a plethora of districts that have a DOI plan, a District of Innovation plan. So several of the exemptions that were in the original plan, we want to renew without any change. The first one is the first day of instruction, and what this exemption allows us to do is to start school earlier than the 4th Monday in August. And that is what is supported through EB Local. The Campus Behavior Coordinator that exemption allows all campus administrators to be a Campus Behavior Coordinator. In the legal policy, it's the principal. In our local, it's so every administrator can act in this capacity in support of our student code of conduct. Our Texas Teacher Appraisal System, this exemption allows us to appraise teachers less than annually, and typically that's going to be master teachers who would be, in good standing and don't have any issues with their appraisal. They can be appraised on a 3-year cycle. New teachers or probationary teachers are always appraised annually. And as we move forward with the teacher incentive allotment, that will require annual appraisals. And so we still wanted to go ahead and renew this and have this as an option for us, even if next year or the year after we appraise everybody annually. That makes sense. And then Chapter 21, probationary contracts. This exemption allows for a teacher who has been employed 5 of 8 years to, when they come to us, so a teacher comes to us who has been in the business 5 of 8 years, they come to us as a probationary teacher. We can, if we feel like we need a little more time to see their craft, they can be a probationary teacher for a 2nd year or even a 3rd year if need be. So those are 4 exemptions from our original plan that we would like to renew without any change. Any questions?
No?
2 other exemptions that we would like to request renewal need some tweaks, need a little amendment. The first one, student-teacher ratio and class size. This exemption originally for us allowed kindergarten through grade 4 classrooms to exceed 22 to 1 without a waiver to the state, even though we rarely to never did that. But the law changed to include pre-kindergarten. So really it's just a semantics change in adding pre-kindergarten to our local policy. Legal policy's already been updated. And then the teacher certification, this exemption, would allow the district to hire teachers who are not currently certified, but who have a bachelor's degree and are qualified to teach in a difficult or hard to fill position. Really what we're doing in this exemption is we're making the verbiage a little more general. In our local policy, we had specified like career technical education teachers, teachers languages other than English, STEM, the arts, and we still want to include all of those individuals for hard to fill positions, but you know, you've read, you've seen, in anticipation of teacher shortages, we just felt it was important to make this a little more general. So if, for example, we were looking for, I don't know, maybe an advanced placement English teacher, and somebody wasn't readily available with the certification, there might be somebody from a college institution that had the coursework, they might have the experience, and we could potentially consider them for a position. But what I will say is that over the 5 years, I believe we've only had to use this, approximately 10 times over the 5 years, and in nearly every one of those situations, the employee has gotten their certification. So it's just an opportunity to give us some flexibility if we are in need.
So what you're saying is we're going to just broaden the language in there to
Yes.
include other, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
In those 10 cases, has it primarily been on the secondary level, or has it been?
I'm going to say, I'm going to look over my shoulder, I think it's been secondary.
Yeah. And based, go ahead,
Yeah.
go ahead,
Well,
I'm sorry.
in CTE, we
Those specialty places.
in health science, and in our culinary arts, and in
Yeah,
and a few
some
fine
fine arts. Yeah, I'll just share, Board, along with Linda, based on all the data and all of the conversations that we're having with other superintendents, other districts, the talent pool is going to be quite shallow this coming spring. I don't know about you, but there's just not a whole lot of people that are going to study French or studying German. Am I correct, Mr. Grammer? Or orchestra. I mean, those are all unique disciplines. I have a music degree, so I know that they're unique disciplines that, we just are not having lots of people to do that anymore. And because funding has been cut in other places across the state, it's caused many of the folks that would normally do those things to not do them. Now, I'm not saying we need that right now, but this gives us that broad overreach if we need it. Especially, as you said, in the fine arts and CTE and robotics and some of those mechanics and things like that. And so I think we might have to use that more in the future than we have and had to in the past, because there are entire schools of education that are shutting their doors in Oklahoma already. I know some of you've seen that. I haven't heard that that's happening in Texas right now, but we just don't have the number of students graduating from high school saying, I'm going to college to be a teacher. And it's a sad commentary, in my opinion. We want to encourage people to want to be a teacher. We want students to do that. But there's just a lot of external factors that are causing people to not be in our profession right now. And I think all of us are aware of that. That's what the District of Innovation gives us some leeway with. It allows traditional ISDs to not be as traditional as we have been. We prior to the first draft of the District of Innovation, we would say things like charter schools have the opportunity to do some things a little differently.
Right.
And so the commissioner heard superintendents and school districts and board members, boards of trustees. And so this is where the District of Innovation has come. And so it gives us an opportunity to think outside the box. And so I applaud this school district along with Dr. Wadley and her team and the entire district for what you've done already. And I think the pieces that we're trying to add certainly does not hurt our school district or impact negatively our students in any way.
Thank you. We would like to consider an additional exemption, and this relates to minimum attendance for class credit or final grade. And we talked about this a little bit with the taper, in that a student has to be in attendance 90% of the time in order to get a final grade or course credit. So what this exemption would allow, it would allow the district to consider a student's absences in conjunction with their mastery of the content in order to determine class credit or a final grade, as long as the student doesn't fall below 75%. So in other words, 90%, it's roughly around 10 absences, okay, 10, 11 absences. If a student has more than 10% or more, they're not in attendance 90%, but at least they're above 75%, and I don't know, I guess that's like 20 absences or 25 absences, I don't know, I'm not a math person. But what the attendance committee can do, and there's an attendance committee on every single campus, because this impacts students in grades K to 12. What they can do is, when they come to the table and they look at every single student, they look at all extenuating circumstances, and if, for example, take me, I might have had 15 absences in my English class, my English 1 class. But my grade was an 89. And so what that committee could decide is that they look at all of my absences, and maybe I was out for illness, maybe I was out for some co-curricular or extracurricular. They could allow me to get the credit, 89 for my grade, without having to do a specific plan, like coming in and making up time. So really, what we're looking at is we're looking at their content mastery as opposed to seat time.
I guess my question is,
Yes.
If passing 70%, why the 75%?
That's that would be their attendance. It's that probably is.
And
is
that's probably
worded
in
kind of
okay.
wonky. It's like
Attendance. Okay, I've kind
yeah.
of read with that at the end,
It's-
class
it's
credit
like-
or final grade, as long as student does not
Right.
fall.
So
Okay.
if I had more than, if I weren't in class,
Gotcha.
more
Okay.
than that, then
Right, I
that would
understand.
not
Okay,
necessarily
I
be
misread
considered. No, that's
that. I'm
okay.
sorry.
And we'll make sure that this reads well.
And we wouldn't
It's-
paint this with a broad brush. This
Yes.
would be extenuating circumstances that would be brought to a committee.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I will say, in the plan, this is a snippet, and it's far more detailed, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We will not be sending a message out that it's okay to be absent 20.
Not at all, not at all.
Trust me, we will not be sending that message out.
Sure. And then, We do have an exemption that we would like to consider for elimination. And that is Chapter 21, resignation under probationary contract, continuing contract, and term contract. That relates to DFE legal. So in our existing DOI plan, we got an exemption to change the penalty-free resignation deadline from 45 days prior to the first day of instruction to 60 days prior to the first day of instruction. You know, all in an attempt to know who's going to be gone and to hire early.
Right.
Okay. Well, we have recently had new legal policy in DFE, specifically with regard to SBEC actions. And here's in part what it says. If a teacher files a written request after the 45th day, but not later than the 30th day before instruction, SBEC may not suspend or revoke the teacher's certification. So in other words, 45 days before instruction usually is around early July. So you add 15 more days, getting you into the middle of July, and if there are some good cause or mitigating factors, and there's a laundry list of them, and Ms. Viator and knows them well. Chris probably knows them well, but SBEC is unlikely to sanction any kind of.
And so we're really trying to get in line with what's
yes.
SBEC is basically saying.
Absolutely.
Am I correct?
We're just saying we would like to just follow the legal policy.
All sounds copacetic.
And so that's what we've got.
Okay. Boyd, do you have any questions for Dr. Warren? Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Linda.
Uh-huh.
Okay, boy, we'll go to item 8, consent agenda. A, determine and approve any consent agenda items. B, approve board meeting minutes. Number 1, regular board meeting minutes, February 8, 2022. 2, special board meeting minutes, February 17, 2022. C, receive principals' reports. Number 1, Early Childhood Center. 2, Bayshore Elementary. 3, College Park Elementary. 4, Heritage Elementary. 5, Jenny Reed Elementary. 6, Laporte Elementary. 7, Leroy Rizzuto Elementary. 8, Lomax Elementary. 9, James H. Baker 6th grade campus. 10, Laporte Junior High. 11, Lomax Junior High. Number 12, Laporte High School. Number 13, Ville DeWalt High School. D, receive financial reports for January 2022. E, receive human resources report. F, approve budget amendment. G, approve agreement for disaster and non-disaster restoration of operational services. H, approve certification declaring candidates for May 7, 2022 general election unopposed. I, adopt a resolution number 2022-02 declaring each unopposed candidate elected to the office for which they filed and canceling the Laporte ISD May 7, 2022 general trustee election. J, adopt a resolution number 2022-04 related to winter weather for Friday, February 4, 2022. K, approve interlocal agreement for commercial driver license examination services. L, approve purchase of laptop computers. M, approve qualifications for annual financial audit services and authorize the superintendent or designee to negotiate and execute a contract. And approve resale of tax foreclosure property described as Lot 11 in Block 46 in Bayfront addition to the town of Laporte, Harris County, Texas, according to the map and plot thereof, recorded in Volume 1, page 53 of the map and plot records of Harris County, Texas, HCAD account number 006-136-000-0011.
Good job.
Yeah.
That was a mouthful. Good job.
Yeah.
Good job.
I hope no one pulls that. And you don't have to read
I
it
can read it again. O, approve resale of tax foreclosure property described as Lot 6 in Block 91 of the town of Laporte subdivision in Harris County, Texas, according to the map or plot thereof, recorded in Volume 8, page 16 of the map records of Harris County, Texas, HCAD account number 023-210-000-0006. P, approve resale of tax foreclosure property described as Lot 14, Block 79 of the town of Laporte in Harris County, Texas, being more particularly described in an instrument filed in the Harris County Clerk's Office Deed Records Division under Clerk's File Number B692140, HCAT account number 023-203-079-0014. I feel like that Micro Machine commercial. Okay, Q. Approved resale of tax foreclosure property described as Lot 8, Block 1, Bay Oaks in Harris County, Texas, being more particularly described in an instrument filed in the Harris County Clerk's Office Deeds Records Division under Clerk's File Number S208920, HCAT account numbers 063-021-001-00008. Okay. So, there you go.
I'm
Okay.
glad I don't
Board.
have to read all that back.
Board, seek a motion.
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Shoppy.
Did you want me to read them all?
Yes, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Okay, we have 8, B, 1 and 2, C, 1 through 13, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, and Q.
Okay, we're Mr. Shoppy make a motion. Need a second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Thompson.
Did you second?
So we have a motion by Mr. Shoppy, second by Ms. Thompson. Call for the vote. It is 4-0, unanimous approval. Thank you.
Got the team of 5 here today.
Okay, item 9, action or discussion items. A, discuss and take action on the method chosen to fill vacant trustee position number 2. Discussion board.
My thoughts are that we should move to item C on this part of the agenda. As much as the board would like to have our citizens make this decision, having just had the pleasure of, in my personal position, of canceling our May election, since Melissa and I do not have any opposition, it just doesn't seem prudent to spend approximately $60,000 on a special election for someone who's going to serve in a position for less than a year. Well, I guess it'd be a full year. That would serve a full year or 12 months to spend that money. It's just not physically responsible, in my opinion. So I think we should go with option C.
Okay. Anybody else? Discussion? Okay. I just have a different take on it, and yes, I would not want to be spending money on this, but just believe that's kind of the price of our democracy, and having the people have a vote and a say in who they want to be represented on the school board. But with that, that's all my comments. So, but with that, I guess seek a motion on item A.
I make a motion that we consider appointment to fill the vacancy of Board of Trustee position 2 and take related action at a future date.
Okay. Second. Okay, so Ms. Thompson made a motion.
Was that worded okay, Chris?
Okay, we have a. Okay, can you restate?
I've been doing this a while.
Ms. Thompson, can you restate your motion again?
Oh my
No,
gosh,
it's good.
really?
No,
Yes,
it's okay.
I can.
The record has it.
I make a motion that we move to fill by appointment the vacancy of the Board of Trustee of position 2 and that we take related action at a future date.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Thompson.
Second.
Second by Mr. Shoppy. We'll call for the vote. Okay, 3-1, approval for appointment. Okay. And so that means item B, possibly adopt a resolution number 2022-03 calling the May 7, 2022 special trustee election for the purpose of electing one trustee to the board for an unexpired term for position number 2 is mute. So we go to item C.
Which is what we just did.
Well, I thought we kind of voted on A, discuss and take action on the method chosen to fill the
But
vacant.
we chose the method.
Okay, so that can tear C. Okay, and so we go to item D. Discuss and possibly approve the placement of closing comments of the Board of Trustees and Superintendent on all regular board meeting agendas beginning in April 2022. And I'll go ahead and, I guess, with the permission of the board, kind of take this as far as discussion.
Sum this up.
Yeah. I did have some Comments, I just wanted to kind of inform the board as far as kind of looking at some research on this. And this goes back to the agendas only go up to about August of 2008, so I can't comment prior. But in August 2008 to March of 2015, we did have comments in the agenda. From April 2015 to October 2018, we did not. November of 2018 to August of 2019, we had comments back on the agenda, and then from September of 2019 until now, we have not had comments on it. If this board wants to have board comments on the agenda, it would be related to 3 items: attendance at recent district and community events, C, announcement of upcoming district and community events, and D, outstanding performance by district staff and students. So the prior, if you look at any of the agendas from November of 2018 and August of 2019, we also had an extra item, any posted agenda items, but for any future
But
that
the
would
laws
not
kinda
be,
changed
laws
on
have
that
changed,
too.
so it'd be recommended we do not include that if the board so chooses to have board comments. So with that, do you have any questions or motion?
Well, I think it's hard to discuss with the person who wanted this on the agenda not here, but I agree with the person who wanted this on the agenda. I think we should be able to comment because it's awfully hard to not be able to speak when someone retires or not be able to congratulate, the basketball team that was here today or whatever's going on. It's kind of hard to sit here just with, and hold your hands and not have some kind of, I think it's just normal human nature to want to end the meeting on a good note, so to speak. And all of us have such varied interests throughout the district. I think, one may be at a sporting event and the other one may be at the spelling bee and someone else may go to the history fair or whatever's going on. So I think it would be nice to kind of hear about all the different events that go on and see, just how visible we all try to be and how involved we all attempt to be throughout the district.
Now, are those comments that'll be at the end of the
End of the meeting.
My kind of vision of it would be at the end, and I would just open. I wouldn't call on any particular person. If someone doesn't want to speak, that's fine. Just kind of just open it. Whoever goes first, just jump in, say their piece, and then anybody else, and then after that, we are adjourned. So it'd be with at the end.
So legally, it's not allowed right now to do that?
Well, we don't have it
Because
on.
we voted to take it off.
Right,
The
back
prior
in.
board voted to
Yeah.
take it
So if
off.
somebody wanted to make a comment, they just can't make it? Is there a repercussion to it?
Well, it would-
When you make a
it-
comment?
It's
it-
just
Well,
not.
but-
Right,
Say something,
and it would
slap
be.
my hand if I say congratulations to the basketball
But this,
team?
well,
Yes.
no, but
Hold on, Chris is going to
Yeah.
answer your question.
You have to post on the agenda everything that you're going to do. If you have an item on the agenda, you can make comments about it. That's part of the reason why we took off. Your old version of this used to have 4 things, and the first one was comments about any item that's on the agenda, but that's duplicative. If best practice is, you should comment about something when you're doing the agenda item.
Yes.
Because you can. Otherwise, you can't, you have to post for these kinds of comments. And the commissioner has said, or the attorney general actually has said, that you can't simply say board member comments, because before you make the comments, you have some idea of what it is you're going to be talking about. So you should be posting with some specificity, but it's
Right.
also not, it's not very feasible to post with a lot of detail and try to, 72 hours in advance script everything you're going to say. So the language that we're recommending, which is the language you guys have used in the past, and a lot of boards do it, it's not uncommon, is pretty much generally accepted to be the good way to do it. And what you want to try to do is limit the comments to sort of non-substantive things. It's not supposed to be a chance to reopen an item on the agenda, because that would also violate Robert's
Right.
rules.
Right.
It's supposed to be, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but it's supposed to be kind of fluffy stuff. It's
So if our baseball team played last night.
yes,
We didn't have 72 hours to be able to say.
and
hey,
you
I
wouldn't,
wanna
yeah,
talk
you
about
wouldn't know that, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
We
So
have
you
the
can,
opportunity to say, way to go.
yes,
Or you
or
can-
you can say that you went to the play and you enjoyed the play, things
Yeah.
like that. I mean, and all of that's fine, but we post specifically for that so that you can comment on that.
I'm good.
Nothing wrong with that.
I'll
I
seek
think
a
it's a
mo-
good thing.
I'll seek a motion.
You're looking at me. Am I wording this up again?
You're the best
Wordsmith.
with words. Absolutely.
Not a worder.
I make a motion that we return board comments to the end of each regularly scheduled board meeting with the specifics that David Yonda mentioned a while ago. With the specifics that David
B,
Yonda
C, and
mentioned
D.
a while
Yeah,
ago.
B, yeah.
B, C, and D.
Right. of the-
We know what that is.
yeah. Okay. Ms. Thompson made a motion.
Ms. Crutcher seconded.
Seconded. I'm sorry. Ms. Crutcher seconded, and so we call for the vote. It is passed unanimously.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, board. And so with that, action on closed session items. We do not have any, so we go to item 11, 8:13 p.m. and we adjourn.